Hey people, Intro here, 53 SD Province. Got a classic Imperium versus Chaos matchup here on the blue team. Strategos and a Lord General fighting in ranged combat begins with a retinue. Has really strong defense and support, can add to the retinue throughout the game. Alongside SuperMegaUltraPanda and an Inquisitor. An offensive hero with powerful control begins in melee but can get specialized ranged weapons. This is the Armageddon Steel Legion elite scheme. Rounding off the team here, PierPolJak and a Techmarine starts off in ranged combat, can get a melee weapon, supports with structures and repairs. The Dark Angels DLC scheme. For the Red Chaos fellas, Night Stalker and a Chaos Lord, a durable and destructive hero walking through objects, cannot be suppressed with powerful offense and disruption, fighting in melee, and this is the World Eaters elite scheme. Alongside Malos, Vrykan and a Chaos Sorcerer, offensive and disruptive hero with powerful battlefield manipulation and control. Looks like we have the Word Bearers DLC recolored, and I think he's consumed a heretic already because they dropped a model. Must have doom bolted at something. And rounding off the teams, Thatyoinkysploinky and a Plague Champion starts off with a damage of a time bolt gun, can get to melee weapons, debilitates enemies and supports allies, can also repair. Heretics being shot at by the Techmarine, kind of rude on that east side. Some Zethian worship here infiltrating this stuff. Inquisitors getting stuck in, leading a line alongside the Sentinel, which already has a ground pound, has a good doom bolts onto those tacks out of cover. Plague Champion in that light cover there with Nurgle worship, can sit there and outshoot things. The tacks have run. Sorcerer goes down, got stomped and then shot at. Plague Champion is very low, needs to be careful. Inquisitor now in on the CSM. We have double guardsmen here as well. I don't think the Plague Champion is going to get away, you know. I think he's going to go down here. Yeah, he's going to go down. Plasma Pistol should do it. There he goes. So 2 down heroes for Chaos in the first engagement, and the Chaos Lord got pretty low too. A shaky start for the Chaos fellas there. Not often you see 2 heroes going down first engagement. Almost had 3 going down. We have Grenade Launcher Heretics for Night Stalker. Grenade Launcher is pretty bad news for those guardsmen. There's a stomp, got 2 of the CSM, the other fella trying to get into melee with these guys. Only the Sergeant? Oh, there's 2 of them. 2 of them get away. Sentinel should be pretty safe. And it's a blue capped VP. Inquisitor runs off the east side, having decapped that wreck point. Repurchase there for the Plague Champion, who can now get the XP for reviving the Chaos Sorcerer. Looks like the Chaos Lord is coming over though. He could have revived both of them and got a whole bunch of XP, would have helped him out. SuperMegaUltraPanda calling out the Noise Marines, by this yelling noise, they will be looking to get on the enemy's power generators and shaking them apart with those sonic blasters. There's a stomp, stopping the revive. So the Chaos Lord wouldn't have been knocked over there. So I think he would have carried on reviving. Noise Marines trying to get their sonic blaster on this stuff. It disables ranged attacks, which is very handy. Does decent damage to infantry too. And of course they do have the 2 models with bolt guns, and I think they're pretty decent bolt guns. I think they're double-digit DPS, I think, on those bolt guns. Plague Champion does get the revive. Sorcerer back to his feet. May want to run away. I think he is running, actually. Just lost the indicator for him. And there's some Nurgle worship facilitating the revive. Also lost the indicator for the Plague Champion, which sometimes happens when heroes are down. You can get the indicator back by opening the information panel, but I don't want to do that in a replay because it will spoil the time remaining and that kind of thing. Chaos Lord with the Harness of Raid. He's not happy. We may see him get the Dark Halo with that energy regeneration, and it works well alongside Raptors too because they need energy to jump. Chaos Lord toughing out the last turret to get the cap. Yep. CSM here getting a bit low into the firing arc of this suppressing heavy bolter here on the east side again. They're pushing power. I'm not sure if there were 2 gens, but they definitely bashed one of them down there. There might have been 2. Inquisitor doing well. Picking her fights well with the Inquisitor, isn't she? Got the double guardsman, and the Sentinel might be looking to go straight to tier 2. Maybe drop a little cheeky Bane Wolf in. Panda's a very experienced player. Hammer of the Witches on the model, holding the Sonic Blast. That was a nasty Doom Bolts, and there goes the Stomp. Again, it's well timed. Can now tie up the Noise Marines, who may need to use Cacophony. Nope, they're just going to run. Here's the other Noise Marines for that Thatyoinkysploinky, who's got some more CSM too, for some extra firepower in here. And then you get the Inquisitor down, she gets a good special and runs off. Not sure what the melee DPS of Noise Marines is. Devastate is it as well. Like, is it any good? Is it double DPS? Is it double digits? Map looking quite blue at the moment. They have mid-map authority. All the contested points are blue across the mid-line, east to west. Red team need to get this wreck point back. There's tier 2 for Panda. Getting a quick Bane Wolf now would be really bad news for the red team, I should say. There's some Khorne Worship for the extra speed, and we do have Raptors over here for Night Stalker. The Chaos Lord can support them with the Harness of Rage. Support, not really something you associate with the Chaos Lord, but the Harness of Rage is pretty nice for this. You see that energy regen going in on the Raptors. There's the jump. Suppressing when they land. 30 DPS chainswords, which will rip apart this heavy weapon squad. They haven't left yet. They're still in here. They're going to wipe if they're not careful. They do wipe. That's pretty sloppy there from Strategos. I'm not sure what he was maybe trying to micro the Sentinel around. And lost sight of him. Loses Guardsman as well. Really, really bad engagement for Strategos, which I think is how I meant to say it. Sentinel from Panda came across and got a good stomp, helping out. The Lord General does get away, although he's lost his retinue. Both Derek and Nigel have fallen. He needs to find new ones now. Multi-laser turret is going to go down here. How much red do you get for this? And do you get XP? I assume you have to. Did they get XP? On the east side, Noise Marines shutting down the Techmarine's bolt gun, but Devastators are getting some suppression going. We got double CSM with Eternal War here for Thatyoinkysploinky alongside that Noise Marine squad. Nothing for the Heretics yet. Just being used for worship support most of the time, I think. Might be handy just to get the grenade launchers now, although he's probably anxious to get to tier 2 Thatyoinkysploinky. Panda is there, but he's got nothing up yet. Doesn't have the red to drop in the Bane Wolf, I don't think. Some tier 2s coming in for the Chaos fellas. Tier 2 for Strategos, who only has the Guardsman now. Sentinel didn't make it out. There's a stomp on the east side. We got Plasma Guardsman in for Panda. So that was the first purchase out in tier 2. Plasma weapons very effective against heavy infantry such as the Chaos Space Marines with their heavy infantry armor. Inquisitor looking for a fight, is she? She's going to hammer off the witches, but does not get the model with the Sonic Blaster there. Maybe a misclick. And I assume the Sonic Blaster would shut down the hammer off the witches and mean she couldn't cast it, but it's a ranged attack, I assume. Plasma's in on the Noise Marines there. They drop a model. Very efficient at trading, these guys, these guardsmen, because they reinforce so cheaply and easily. Doom bolts flying in. Raptors are there to really do some work. Look at this though. Techmarine with his plasma gun using the overcharge to decimate those Raptors. Gets up to almost 70 DPS when he uses overcharge. Quite outrageous. Chaos Lord with... Oh, he doesn't get the Dark Halo. He's going for Demonic Visage for debuffing on hit. Heretics run. Some CSM here with Eternal War doing some good damage to the Lord General, who's gone for his shotguns. He's still got no other units up. So now Chaos are starting to take the map and make it a bit redder. Oh, that's a heavy turret to defend the power here. They just kill that Marine. More for kind of large targets, this guy. You can give it an Executioner cannon. Got some Mark of Zinch Chaos Space Marines here. And already some here for Thatyoinkysploinky. So double the Mark of Zinch, that's quite an investment. Is up against Space Marines on this side who have a bunch of heavy infantry. The Inferno Bolts, very effective against them. Also pretty good against heroes. Anything for the Sorcerer? Indeed, we have Vestments of the Warp. There's the Teleport. And the Icon of Zinch for explosions on death, which is always fun. There's a percentage of the model that died's hit points, isn't it? As damage. Is it 10%? 15%. So if you can throw that on the Marine as he dies, pretty big explosion. 384 to 323 on the VPs. It should let you throw that onto allies. I think that'd be quite fun. Maybe a bit too strong with heretics though, eh? With like a touch of Nurgle in your pocket. There's the Curse of Tzeentch on those guys. Oh, and then the Sorcerer just falls over. Did they not drop a model? 350 to 323 on the VPs. Pretty close then. A double cap for the red team. Ogrin's on the field now for Strategos as he tries to recover. Raptors on the way for Malos Vrykan. Ogrin's get their bonehead leader as they often do immediately. And a Blood Crusher is in for Techmarine. This is a demon with vehicle armor. Very mobile and good damage output. But it's not the toughest thing around. Relies on worship support and also using its abilities to survive. It can charge. And it can also roar and make enemies run away. But yeah, under worship, this thing can be a menace. And it, as a vehicle armor thing, it does need... You do need anti-vehicle weapons to fight it. We do have a las cannon here. So maybe he's spotted the Blood Crusher already. And a librarian to give them Veil of Time, so they don't need to set their weapon up. Which is very handy. Yeah, mid-map authority, very ready. We've even got gens over here. Not something you often see. The node goes down, but they still have the gens going in. Rod of Warpfire in the Sorcerer's hand. Still level 1. Needs to level up to get more energy to use all this stuff. Because now he's got Doom Bolts and Warp and the Curse of Tzeentch and now the Warpfire all to use with 100 energy. Mark of Khorne CSM here for Night Stalker. Khorne would be proud. And now here come the Ogryns using the use your red to knock things down. Got a fight in the rounds though. Chaos Lord's got his lightning claws. They got Raptors there. They got Mark of Khorne CSM there. Yeah, it's a tough fight for the Ogryns. The lightning claws alone are a massive threat. Can they wipe them out? There's the jump. They do get the Ogryns down. Big loss for Strategos. That was like their first big engagement. Down goes the Sentinel too. Big aggression from Night Stalker. Panda's gone tier 3 and he's got a Manticore up. Tier 3 also for PierPolJak. Doesn't have the red to drop in anything tasty, but maybe Land Raider, saving up power for Land Raider. Can they wipe those Noise Marines? There's the Executioner turret doing work. Goes down though. Raptors don't have their aspiring champion yet, who gets a pretty fancy heavy melee weapon. Manticore Strike over here. Help stop the power bash. They got the node down and a gen most likely. Yeah, blue team are reeling at the moment. Manticores, you know, can be quite killy, but it's not much of field presence because you keep it out of fights typically. I say that as it rolls into this fight to fire its heavy bolter. They're ignoring the Inquisitor, trying to go after this Manticore. They don't have a heavy melee weapon though. Raptors run. Inquisitor getting debuffed on hit because of the menacing visage. Also debuffs enemies around the hit as well. Radius 25 for 5 seconds, but it doesn't stack. Yeah. 2-3-1 to 3-2-3 on the VPs. Those Plasma Guardsmen. Oh, they run. They don't want to fight those heretics. I thought they tried to reposition or split there, but they did not. Let the Galaxy Burn just hits the heretics. Maybe that's why they ran. They saw the grenade decorator on the Chaos Lord from Armor of the Inferno. Another turret dropped in. These guys chasing down the Manticore. The aspiring champion will have a melter pistol. He wasn't firing it though there. Sometimes it can be a little bit weird about firing their sidearms melee units. Sometimes it just won't do it. Something to do with being in charge mode and the exact range that they're at maybe. Chaos Sorcerer is level 2 now. There's tier 3 for Strategos. And they hold on for Strategos to recover here. There's Curse of Tzeentch. Those guys are not backing off. Okay, they're now running. Blood Crusher coming in. That could do some good work against the Manticore. Heavy turret gets a big shot though. Can he get another? It can. Big range on that thing. Now it's going after some tactical marines who have got a plasma gun, so they're not really a threat to it. Should go after the Techmarine now. Wants to try. Oh, Las Cannon's getting shots. Las Cannon gets shot down by Raptors. Can the Blood Crusher survive? 8 hit points. Takes out the Techmarine. Now he needs to leave, I think. Oh, he's getting warped. Malos Vrykan warps it out. Nice helpful Sorcerer play. That's from his global ability bar. So that would have cost him 125 or 150 red or something it is. PierPolJak, I was just to say, he's got no red. It's because he's called in some Deathwing Terminators here. That kind of off-white colour. Are you going to revive this Techmarine there, Miss Inquisitor? Leman Russ on the way for Panda. His first purchase out of tier 3. And we got some Melter Raptors with Aspiring Champion. Now I believe in the... oh, they're going to get a Manticore. In 2-1-3, which is in kind of planning stages right now, this guy's set to maybe get his just a Melter Gun back, the Aspiring Champion, not a Power Fist. Perhaps it was seen as a bit too strong to get a really good Melter Pistol and a Power Fist. That Plasma Techmarine is still a menace. No upgrade yet for the Terminators. They start with Storm Bolters and Power Fists, so they are very good in combat right out of the gate. Chaos Lord gets stunned, then uses Kill the Weak and then runs away. Level 4. Yeah, those debuffs on hit can be huge in a team fight. He does need to get in and hit something though to activate it. Blood Crusher's still going, done really well for Thatyoinkysploinky, although doesn't have a level yet. Raptors are in pretty good suit. Do we have everyone with Mark of Zinch? No, we've got those one Mark of Corn fellas. Blue team are going to get the Western VP back. Can Strategos get something on the field here? Saving up for some kind of big old tank thing. Leman Russ has gone Vanquisher. Very effective against large targets, and there's going to be some large targets coming in. Great Unclean One on the way for Malos Vrykan and Land Raider Phobos for Night Stalker. There's some Khorne Worship to speed up those Mark of Khorne Marines even more. Are they going to go after the Terminators? They are. They've got power melee damage chain axes, which are very effective against super heavy infantry armor, but there were plasma attacks there and the Librarian there to support, not to mention the Lord General himself at level 5. More Ogrins on the way for Strategos, could get them straight away to become Bullgrins maybe. It's a big investment. Librarian with that inspiration on kill. Terminators also inspire on kill. You can get that kind of critical mass of inspiration killing going on in the Space Marine tier 3s. Through the mid then, another heavy turret, a Las turret. Plague Champion toughing it all out to try and get this cat using Mucus Discharge to heal, but he can't get away. I thought he had his fist or his Armor of Pestilence or something, but nope, just trying to tank it out with the Breath of Nurgle. Here's the Land Raider Phobos. It's more of an anti-vehicle Land Raider with las cannons on the side sponsons there. It does count as a demon. That guy had a bad day. It does count as a demon, so you can worship that thing. Was that Nigel? I think that was Nigel who just got shot to death by 4 las cannons on the 2 twin-linked. That was quite painful. Meanwhile, this power's being bashed finally. That will help the Leman Russ level up. And there's a great Unclean One for Malos Vrykan. A greater Demon of Nurgle passively damages nearby enemies just by his mere presence. Powerful in melee and has some nasty abilities too. And it's great synergy with the Sorcerer because he can teleport that big fella around when he gets into trouble. Maybe use him a bit more aggressively than you ordinarily would because of that. Chaos Lord is level 4. He'll do really good damage to the Terminators as well. There's an Imperial Abyss from the Chaos Lord. Corn flavored. Terminators teleport out. They're going to take this turret down again. There's some Mark of Zinch getting damage in. They do full damage to super heavy infantry armor with Mark of Zinch bolts. The Inferno PvP damage type. Bullgrins are here with their shields up, and they're getting very low as they push deep into enemy territory. Need to run these guys away. Strategos, they're just going to wipe again, I think. Chaos Lord's on them. Great Unclean One is there. Yep, down they go again. I'm not sure what happened there. Didn't seem to have anything else to focus on. Things can die really quickly in Dawn of War 2. He might have been considering his next purchase or something. There's Purgatus. And then Inquisitor gets caught by the Great Unclean One and chucked away. So we know she has Purgatus. The Mark of Khorne CSM almost level 4, run away from the plasma attacks. Leman Russ getting shots in on the Great Unclean One. And there's another Great Unclean One for Thatyoinkysploinky. Land Raider Redeemer on the way for PierPolJak. Strategos with a heavy weapon squad, which is generally a good way to start trying to recover. Something that doesn't require a lot of micro and will put out some good damage. The Nurgle will vomit, hits those guardsmen, and they survive it somehow. Oh, the Lord General was inside the garrison. That's the swarm of flies, and then he just takes the bunker out. They might need to wait for the Land Raider here before they try to push this side. We have some Kasrkin with plasma guns in hand, and they just got a decap on the VP actually. Plasma gun's very good against the Great Unclean One, which has a huge amount of hit points, but it's super heavy infantry armor, so it's weak against plasma and melter and power melee. There's so much hit points, they can soak it up. What is this thing? Oh, Chaos Terminator's coming in from Malos Vrykan. Those twin linked bolters, combi bolters do they call them, and power fists. Two Great Unclean Ones here still. Need to be careful not to overextend both of them, because the Sorcerer can't teleport both of them out. So these Chaos Terminators demoralize enemies on kill rather than inspire allies. Can stack up quite a lot, but they are kind of incentivized to target weaker units to get those kills racked up, much like Loyalist Terminators are. This Great Unclean One is getting very low. That's a rocket run. He needs to keep moving, I think. Rocket run there, maybe from Panda. He's got another Leman Russ on the field now. On the west side, it's red. These guys are going to try and cap and get some las cannons in the head, maybe. Anti-vehicle weapons like las cannons do struggle to hit infantry. Oh, Great Unclean One falls. And this was Malos Vrykan's, I think. Sorcerer didn't teleport him out. Maybe he tried to, and it just wasn't in time. Or maybe he teleported the other guy and then retreated. I don't know. Or perhaps he's saving it for these Chaos Terminators. Cap, says Panda. Fast, please. They are down to... Oh, they're up. The blue team are down to 92 VPs. Yeah, Panda's on the blue team, you idiot. That's why. Get myself confused. Yeah, he wants to try and take this back. They're going for it. And here's a Land Raider Redeemer. The blue team can use this thing to retreat back to now and reinforce, so it's a huge support vehicle. That can make a big difference here. Refractive field in for the Techmarine. A very efficient damage-absorbing shield. But as you saw there, Chaos Lord knocked him over because this shield does not provide weapon knockback immunity like most other shields do. Chaos Lord is down. Chaos Terminators teleport back, and the blue team get the VP on the west side and stabilize it a bit. We do have a Baneblade on the way for Strategos. That could sit on the west side, do a lot of work. Bunch of stuff retreating through the mid. 75 to 228. Warpfire runs off the Inquisitor. She's got Purgatus and the Mandate. Scouts getting a decap under infiltration. Worth it. Can they get away? They do have their Sergeant, and they are level 4, and I think that's what saved them there. This Chaos Terminator taking huge amounts of damage from the Leman Russ and these Plasma Guardsmen, who are now focusing on the CSM, who are trying to cap but can't. This is really good timing here by Panda. Backing up the decap and running interference is making a big difference in this game here. West side is uncapped. A bunch of dead stuff here. What the hell happened? They got auto-cannoned by these guys, maybe. The Techmarine also down on this side. Cyclone missile launcher coming through for the Terminators. A few hits on the Land Raider, nothing major. Was it hitting the VP, maybe? It might have been. What is this? Some Markov Corner CSM fellas over here. Got the Kasrkin and their rapid-firing plasmas. Get rid of them. Red team can finally get their VP back, but as I said, that was great play by Panda to hold it up. Now getting some good clean shots in on the Great Unclean One with 2 Leman Russes. Inquisitors here. Worth getting crossbow bolt pistol, I think, to mess with the Terminators more. I mean, it must be tempting to get the Inferno pistol, but I think the crossbow bolt pistol is maybe a bit underrated late game in the 3v3. Being able to mess with Terminator movement is huge. She has Purgatus to stun them, but she can chain that with the crippling volley afterwards maybe. She's going to get a revive and level 2, not quite to 7. Techmarine back on his feet though. Does he have Signum? Yeah, he's got a Signum marked target, which is amazing. There's another tank here, this time from PierPolJak. What is the Baneblade up to? Trying to dive in on the Phobos maybe. Now needs some repairs. But get a repair bunker, that'll do a huge amount of work here. Down to 75 VPs, the blue team, the 2-to-1 cat. That was a foul snare. We're back up to 2 Great Unclean Ones. There's a Nurgle Shrine back there too to reinforce. Mandate up for the Inquisitor. Slays a Chaos Terminator, I think. And then they teleport out today? Or do they get teleported out? Or they just teleported out, not a warp. And those guys are here. These guys might need to get warped. Gonna use their teleport. 75 to 149. Baneblade bristling with guns with a big mega battle cannon on the top. A demolisher on the front. Las cannons, heavy bolters, all sorts of good stuff. Got a las cannon here too. Yeah, it's going to be suicide for the Land Raider Phobos to move forward, I think. The 2 Vanquishers and the Baneblade and the las cannon and a heavy turret. Red team might need to push through the mid. Speaking of pushing through the mid, these scouts got a decap again. Look at that. That's big. We're going to see a las cannon Marco Zinch Havoc squad to come to the west side and try and deal with all these vehicles. Can the Great Unclean Ones even push on this? Gonna be tough. Chaos don't really have much access to heavy melee units other than the big old Great Unclean Ones and the Terminators with their fists. It's not like the old days of retail where your bloodletters are heavy melee and you can do a big bloodletter assault on all these things. Might be worth teleporting the Terminators into rear armor, being ready to warp them out again as the Sorcerer maybe. To kind of set things off. Night Stalker asking for a nuke. PierPolJak on the other team asking for a nuke. 75 to 79, blue team are indeed holding on. And Panda now has a Baneblade of his own. Double Leman Russes, Kassakin and a Baneblade. And this very dangerous level 8 Inquisitor has slain the Chaos Sorcerer there. You guys are in a bad spot, it turns out. Trying to set up to use their las cannon. Didn't work out for him. Phobos is getting repaired. It's more efficient to repair it than to worship it. But of course, multiple units can benefit from the worship. Here comes the Great Unclean One. And here comes another las cannon Havoc squad. Got a good hit on the Predator. Great Unclean One is Malos Vrykan, so probably keeping an eye on it to warp him out if needed. Demolisher Cannon goes in, doesn't knock down these Terminators, who are going to get a decap, taking huge amounts of damage to do it. And now they might want to teleport out, yeah. 75 to 46, 1-to-1 cap. Can anyone get on the naturals? Big fight brewing here. Okay, that Great Unclean One just got teleported away by the Sorcerer, walked out. Plague Champion level 3. Can maybe get a heal off before he needs to run. Maybe. Gets knocked over by the Inquisitor. There's Hammer of the Witches on a Terminator. This Inquisitor's a pretty big problem for the red team. She's an absolute menace. Can they take her out? They can. Down she goes. That must have been satisfying. But she's caused huge amounts of problems. Now in on the Kassakin. Well, staying in here a bit too long. They are heavy infantry. So they can somewhat shrug off like bolter fire and things. Uh-oh. These Terminators are very low and they do not get away. Those were Thatyoinkysploinky's. Land Raider Phobos taking a whole bunch of damage from those. Oh, from the Baneblade and the heavy turret and the 2 Leman Russes. There's a nuke. Oh, they got it. They got the Land Raider. That is Thatyoinkysploinky's Imperial Abyss. Takes down the Lord General. 75 to 46, 1-to-1 cap. A push here from PierPolJak to get onto the VP. Oh, chasing down the Terminators. Lascannon's now getting shots on the tank though. Manages to take down the model holding the Lascannon, but they're still getting shots in. There's the overcharge. Level 9 Techmarine. How much damage is he doing now? Good grief. Can get a decap? Probably. Nothing wants to try and cap the west side. The Baneblade of Panda coming in from an angle. Gets a good demolisher. Trying to take this shrine down maybe. 63-46. A no cap game. Blue team. Oh, they're not getting the natural back. Kashyyykin do have fast capping too. PierPolJak gets a decap. Really good play here. Pouncing on the weakened VP spot. Now red team will take it back, I think. Those guys teleport out. And we got guardsmen capping the VP here. It seems pretty clear actually. Seems pretty clear. Got more Havocs on the way for Night Stalker. Another Land Raider Phobos on the way for Yoinkysploinky. But red team are reeling, and this might be GG. GG says Panda with a question mark. Red team get the natural back. There's the 2-1. I don't think they can do anything about this. Maybe they could get through, harass this in the mid. So many heavy turrets dropped in by Strategos. Look at them. There's 3 up, and I think he lost 1 or 2. Don't usually see that many of them dropped. Yeah, Strategos had to be supported a lot. Saying I got wiped twice. Panda carried in quite a lot, so did PierPolJak, of course, but Panda was so strong through the mid. 2-1 still going. Last Master gets a decent shot on some Kashyyykin. Don't think the red team can get in here. Maybe the Great Unclean Ones were a mistake against this wall of massive guns. Maybe they needed, plague runes and las cannons. There's the game. I mean, the Great Unclean Ones soaked up huge amounts of damage, that's for sure. Just didn't have the anti-vehicle guns to back them up, maybe. They tried to get las cannons to the front line here. Just couldn't bring them to bear. Heavy turrets have such long range. What was being dropped over here? Another heavy turret was being dropped here. We had a level 8 Lord General. Strategos was down to 1 unit, like more than once, but managed to stick in there and recover thanks to support from his allies. This is Panda. Level 9 Inquisitor throwing out the Purgatus at the end. Level 9 Techmarine doing outrageous amounts of damage with a plasma gun. Level 5 Chaos Lord started really strong, but maybe faded out a bit as he tried to face down the wall of guns with his lightning claws. Level 4 Chaos Sorcerer tried to warp and manipulate things as much as he could, I guess. And a level 4 Plague Champion who had, I don't think he had any other war gear. I'm sure the Fist would have done some good work over there, but it is quite expensive. It's like 50 power, although look at the end. He had almost 400 power. Should have got that Fist up, I think, to help cap over here. But there you have it. Thank you for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see ya next time.